Basta ano, wala sa msara ko.
Ito tama.
Hey!
Ito yung ko.
I'm just worried. What's her right?
Nakot na?
White skin. No, unsa ka na ito ka mo?
Ba?
Selfie.
Yeah. Labo. Sure.
It is the prayer closing things off.
Sam.
Morning. It's titled the prayer. So gave you some answer day. Rise up. Thank you so much for sticking around and for getting ready with me. I've got one more voice note before we get into news. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Miss G. Good morning, entire family. Anywhere at Daveyton, I'm so grateful. Ukuthi namanje ngisakwazi ukuvuka ngemsebenzini ngiyophuthe isinkwa on the table for my family. Thank you. Love you guys. Mwah.
In a world where every connection matters, businesses strive to unite people, data, and things seamlessly. Imagine automating processes, slashing operating costs, and expanding into new markets at the speed of innovation. It's all possible with Vodacom Business's IoT connectivity. Why settle for the ordinary when you can make your business extraordinary? Turn to us to unlock the power of IoT connectivity and make your business smarter than ever before. Vodacom Business, further together.
Talaga?
This is the
Ke batla go rabetse ko khoneng batla ga antsa re
cover in place. This is the sound of Bongi's heartbeat when we told him that he could get funeral cover in less than 2 minutes on the FNB app with an embedded cashback benefit after 3 years, and that 1 in 5 claims are paid out in 30 minutes. Switch to FNB. That's help in one. T's and C's apply. FNB is a division of First Rand Bank Limited. First Rand Life Assurance Limited, a licensed life insurance.
Kaya News on Kaya 959.
It's 6 o'clock and here are the stories you need to know. Markus Jooste dies by suicide and Mapisa Kahuna takes special.
Hi, ungaslangan bet.
Good morning, I'm Fundo Mamalanga. Former Steinhoff CEO Markus Jooste has died by alleged suicide at his home in Hermanus in the Western Cape. According to reports, the 63-year-old allegedly shot himself yesterday, a day before he and former Steinhoff head of legal, Stefan Krugler, had to hand themselves over to the Hawks today. Jooste's death comes after he was slapped with a 475 million rand fine. This was by the Financial Sector Conduct Authority for publishing false and misleading financial statements. Western Cape Police spokesperson Malcolm Boyer says an inquest docket has been opened.
Police were activated to attend to a shooting incident at about 14:40 at Kwaiwanta Beach in Hermanus. This has come to affect the Ramsboom with the head shortly after arrival at the private hospital. Investigation is ongoing.
National Assembly Speaker Nosiviwe Pisangakula has decided to take special leave effective immediately. She says this is to protect the integrity of Parliament. She says while the investigating directorate of the National Prosecuting Authority conducted a search and seizure at her home, there's been no formal notification of an arrest warrant or communication regarding an imminent arrest for her. Mapisa Ngakula is accused of receiving over 2 million rand from a contractor while she was Defence Minister. She says she's ready to comply and cooperate with law enforcement agencies should the need arise. The case against former Chief Financial Officer of the Northwest Department of Economic Development, Kudakwashe Mpofu, has been postponed to the 26th of Immigration Act. NPA regional spokesperson Lumka Mahajana says the Zimbabwean national allegedly used a fraudulent permit to remain in South Africa in 2022. The author was apparently informed as early as June 2023 that his permit was invalid.
After investigations, he handed himself over to the police when he was arrested. In court, the matter was postponed to the 26th of March for bail information and possible bail application. The NPA intends to oppose bail in the matter.
Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged European Union leaders to increase support with more air cover to protect eastern cities from Russian bombardment. He spoke during the first day of the EU's Leaders Summit in Brussels yesterday. Zelensky says there are 5 crucial elements to defend Ukraine and all of Europe from Russian aggression and terror. He says these are air defense, artillery ammunition, political unity, freezing of Russian assets, and ensuring Europe's defense is self-sufficient.
Anticipate what Putin has in store for the Baltics or other parts of Europe if we can destroy his aggressive potential. Now, sure, our Europe needs real defense, and these can only be achieved by increasing the production of weapons and ammunition.
It's a fine day across Gauteng. Temperatures in Johannesburg will peak at 25 degrees, 27 in Tshwane, 26 in Ekurhuleni, and 26 degrees in Sedibeng. Here's Mpama Boy with your sports.
In your sport, Lando Norris topped the timesheets for McLaren in the first free practice at the Australian Grand Prix, and Elias Mokoena marked his international debut with a goal as Bafana came from behind to secure a 1-1 draw against Andorra.
And if you missed it, former Steinhoff CEO Markus Jooste has died by suicide.
Kaya News, on the street, on the air, and on the story. Kaya Traffic.
A very good morning from the Kaya Traffic desk. Roads are fairly quiet at the moment. I believe a lot of people have taken the opportunity of a long weekend by taking leave from work. However, we do have some stationary vehicles not causing much of problems. One is in Midrand on the N1 northbound heading towards the new road off-ramp. Then the other one is in Edenvale. That's on the N12 eastbound after the Edenvale road off-ramp. If you come across any traffic problems this morning, please do drop me a WhatsApp 0636880959. Sol Phenduka, Kaya Traffic.
This is how we do it. Welcome to 959 Breakfast.
Well, MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O, and on his farm he had a cow, E-I-E-I-O, with a here and a there, here a there, everywhere. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O.
Especially with the 7 but you know, you come into the office, but about 3:30, I'm out of there. Exactly 3:30. Yeah, I'm done now. No, I'm 3:30. No, I'm 3:15. 3. So, driving your house, it's I'm like meeting. I was just me 5 minutes.
Girls counting on me to be there like missing rubbers. I'm on some Marvin, bunch of distant lovers. This ain't the life that I'm used to. Reintroduce to people I've been introduced to. My audience, yeah, to tell me that you met me and fear that I won't remember. I wish you would still accept me for me. I miss Memphis, Tennessee. My cousin was my dad. Simplistic beauty that all of them southerners have. I'm halfway across the world with dozens of bags. Feeling like
so much more to I'm yalapha eshop.
Now, as far as the heating, this has to let's say is the entire thing.
Yes, I have spoken to a couple of independent sources who have trusted us with the story to be quite reliable. So it sounds like there was actually a process where he was going to hand himself over to the police or the process of getting already kept. And I think from what we heard, the person said that he was already in the process of getting there. So I think there are probably a couple of processes that are underway. The process is that the JSC, in particular the FSCA, has been undertaking. Those have been going on for quite some time. And in fact, the 475 million rand they heard about yesterday was the second big fine that they imposed. The first one was 162 million rand a couple of years ago, which was then reduced by the tribunal to just 20 million rand, which he still hadn't paid.
So 460 or 435 million was due on the 19th of April by Marcus. That's a lot of money by anybody's standard. And I think with that kind of context.
First thing first. On 959 Breakfast. Hashtag 959 Breakfast.
The first thing is, there are people who believe that certain individuals in South Africa are never held accountable. That when it gets too hot in the kitchen, they mysteriously die. Brett Kevel is one. We know that Brett Kevel orchestrated his own hit. And he was also closely linked to the ANC, specifically the ANC Youth League. I remember like Mercedes Benzes being driven around back in the day. I think he bought them like 3 of them, something like that. And then obviously they used to go to him for donations as well. At some point, the ANC Youth League, their offices in Lutuli House look better than the ANC offices. That's how it is. Then there was Gavin Watson, also linked to the ANC, Mosasa. If you listened and followed the state capture inquiry, you know how much Mosasa paid to various individuals, including allegedly the president's son, President Cyril Ramaphosa's son, 500,000. And he was driving, first of all, a manual vehicle, which is a Toyota Corolla, and he got into an accident. And if you looked at the accident, it didn't look like the sort of accident where anybody would have lost their life. But I mean, you know, Tupac, we never know. And so now, here we are. Hit him up again. So there are individuals who, first of all, don't even believe that this happened. However, let's now assume that it did, because you don't have any evidence that it didn't. The report that I'm seeing are people saying he gets away with it. I don't think he's getting away with it.
It is, though.
How is it getting away with it?
Because, you know, the sad thing about this particular situation is that, for one, you have orchestrated this thing via Steinhoff that resulted in many people's livelihoods being, you know, in disarray, from their savings to their retirement funds to their pensions to anything and everything that has to do with what they had planned for their future. And then when the heat gets going for you personally, financially, all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I think the easy way out is to off myself. I'm sorry, sir. You have ruined many people's lives. How dare you think the easy way out is suicide?
Fine. But staying alive would not have unruined those lives. And you wouldn't have gotten that money back. You wouldn't have gotten, hold on guys. You wouldn't have gotten that money back, first of all. The worst you could have done is put him in jail. And I think dying is worse than jail.
No, in this instance, I think you paying 475 million that's going to hit you in your pocket.
He wasn't going to pay that. He doesn't have that money. The only thing you can do, now that he's dead, you can still obviously go and sell the assets. There's a lien on the assets anyway. You can still do all of that. But he wasn't going to pay 475 million. He doesn't have it.
Also, that he felt like dying is better than going to jail, and then he gave himself that opportunity to choose where he shouldn't have been given the opportunity to choose. That's why he got away with it, because he chose his way out and what is better for him.
I wouldn't say either is better. Whether he stayed alive and went to prison, or he died by suicide, as we hear. But on the part that Mpaul's talking about the livelihoods that were compromised, the PIC which is actually an asset manager managing probably 35 public sector pensions and provident funds.
The biggest person in the continent.
Yes, was highly compromised because I think they lost in the region of 19 billion because one, they invested in Lancaster Group, which was an empowerment partner of Steinhoff. It acquired certain shares within Steinhoff. But beyond that, the PIC also then went on to buy 50% of Lancaster. So it's twice. You give them money to acquire a share in Steinhoff, and then beyond that, you partner with them, you take 50% of them. So you see how much they lost. And it became quite a conversation that how could they make such a bad call? But they didn't, because you had a man who was cooking the books. Most investors, lenders, bankers, everybody lost in this because the deception was just too extreme. I actually read that 27-pager. It was really scathing. The law had no choice but to eventually arrest him. I mean, even that 475, you say it's a lot of money. But when reading that 27-pager, you could realize how they arrived at 475 million. They say he earned 710.
I didn't say any of that. Listen, guys.
No, you said...
All of this thing, listen. All of this is common cause. The things you guys are mentioning is all common cause. The money's already been stolen. I'm not saying 475 million is money he shouldn't pay back. I'm saying he doesn't have it.
No, but we don't know that because in that...
But we do know that, guys.
But
They
if we
frozen
read...
accounts. Even the accounts in Germany were frozen.
The Financial Sector Conduct Authority arrived at 475 million, not by chance or just sucking. He earned 710 million throughout 2014 up until 2017, half of 2017. I read this in it. Now, what they say is that he earned that kind of money because of the productivity of the company. And if he was constantly inflating the profits, he was able to pocket. Do you guys see that this was meant for him? Every year, you look like you're doing so well, and then they pay you so much money. 710 million went to him. So surely he had 475.
But you guys are missing the point that I'm making. First of all, when a person dies, right, and the state has access to all your assets, which we've already frozen, right, and taken over, that money is going to come to the states anyway. That's the first thing. If anything, maybe there's going to be a policy that kicks in now, and the states will have access to that as well. All the other stuff you guys are mentioning, that money is not going to come back if you put him in jail. It was never going to come back.
But even having said that, it still comes back to the point that Sol was making. You made a choice, whereas many people did not have that choice. The least you could have done is stand to account for your actions. Even though that money would not have been recouped, if you had literally gone to jail, it gives me some sense of justice.
So now here's the thing. There's a difference between justice, right, and just a punitive sanction so that we can accuse ourselves.
No, it wasn't just going to be punitive because he was still going to be arrested. The NPA was closing in on him.
But guys, that's punitive. That's what punitive is.
A punishment.
But nevertheless, whether it's financial or it's him actually being incarcerated, both of them would have worked for people.
Well, look. Okay, maybe you guys are missing my point. Let me try and make the point again. If somebody dies, that's worse than going to jail.
Yes.
Yeah, do you agree or not? He didn't feel like that.
No, I agree.
Why does it matter what he felt like? So?
Because it matters because he then has the last laugh. He decides how.
Dude, he's dead. He's not laughing yet.
No, he decided what route to take, and the worst route for him was prison. Now, we would have loved to see him take the worst route. He said, no, I'm going to take what's easier. To you and I, that's the worst route, death.
You think death is easier?
No, that's the worst route, death.
No, in this instance, though, I think it's unfortunate.
He thought it's clearly easier than jail, or more bearable than jail. Because this is Markus Jooste, bro. Like, business former superstar, now seeing orange overalls, biggest racehorse owner in South Africa. Like, he's a rock star of business, now seen in overalls. He'd rather be seen dead than in orange overalls.
Let me say, I'd rather go to jail than die.
But not him.
I can just tell you that right now. But again, guys, you let us know. I feel like death is way worse than going to jail. Everything else that you guys are talking about, clawing back the financial gains, you're only going to get at maximum 20% of that money back. And that was going to happen regardless of whether you went to jail or not.
In this instance,
there's already judgments against you in Germany and here in South Africa. So what do you achieve by putting him in jail? The guy's dead. It's like when you go after Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden was never put in jail. They shot him. But nobody turns around and goes, justice wasn't served in this instance. Who cares? The bullet to the head is a bullet to the head.
That matters a lot. You see, all the people that he robbed, if they woke up one day and heard that, Markus Jooste got shot at a grocery store in Stellenbosch, they'd feel very different than they do now when they said he shot himself while getting arrested.
That's vengeance. That's insane. That's vengeance. That's not justice.
It's a form of justice when you feel hard done by.
Yeah, vengeance is never justice.
But if I'm hard done by, and I find out that you got killed by some random person, I'll feel
one of your victims. Yeah,
I feel vindicated.
Give us a shout and let us know. Do you feel like Markus Jooste got off easy by committing suicide? Do you think it would have been better if he'd gone to jail? 08600000959.
Kaya traffic.
We have a whole lot of stationary vehicles starting off in Alberton on the R59 and northbound just before Nelson Mandela Drive off-ramp. There is sluggish traffic a bit just heading towards the Swartkopies Road off-ramp coming from the Nelson Mandela Drive. And then in Germiston, the road, there's also a stationary vehicle there on the N3 North just after the Airlines interchange and a road hazard there. So please just be on the lookout as you pass the Airlines interchange on the N3 North heading towards the M2. In Boysons, we're already seeing delays there on the M1 northbound from Boysons up until the Crown interchange, and then there's also delays on the M2 westbound heading towards the Crown interchange. That's coming out from Heidelberg Road passing Marshalltown. Sol Phenduka, traffic.
On 27th April at the Sun City Super Bowl, on the 28th at the Grand Arena Grand West in Cape Town, and on the 30th at Sunbet Arena Times Square in Pretoria. Tickets are selling out fast, so get yours now at Flip Tickets and Pick and Pay. Kaya 959 has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful to children, does not amount to hate speech, or the description of gratuitous violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa, P.O. Box 412365, Prego 2024, or send an email to bccsa@napsa.co.za. For more information, please visit bccsa.co.za.
The Weeknd, Madonna and Playboy Cardi, popular as the track is 959 Breakfast. So Markus Jooste allegedly took his own life yesterday. Some people are saying he has gotten off light, got off scot-free. I'm saying now, give us a shot to let us know what you thought.
It just reminded me of the movie that's vengeance, that's not justice. But yeah, you know, I would have liked to see because he used to go to jail, not, you know, because I think he took the easy way out, like Sol saying, yes, it's not easy, horrible, but he took it his way out.
Here's the thing. So first of all, words matter, and then honesty is also important. If you come to me and say, Caesar, I'm not interested in justice. I mean, I want him to pay for what he's done. Vengeance only. I'm coming here with the black heart in my big coup. If you look at all the black people that lost money, I suppose all South Africans in general, then I'll be like, I hear you. But don't try to spin this thing to be some sort of justice and some way of righteousness. Don't try to do that, because it's not that. Literally, there are people that lost their father now. The families are grieved, well, not aggrieved, by grieving rather, because there are families that are aggrieved due to his actions. Many. So that's the only thing we can say. If you say, hey, well, I would not. I mean, we sit here and we have a discussion about whether or not we should go back to people getting sentenced to death. And we all agree that's not the right thing. First of all, it doesn't even curb any kind of crime. And then secondly, we have a restorative justice system. So now, if we disagree with that, then obviously we're saying that death is worse than prison. And here, this guy is dead, not in prison.
We all agree death is worse than being in prison. But clearly then, if it is worse, why did he choose it? Surely for him, that was the easier way out. For him.
Queued up on 959 Breakfast.
Anyway, on Queued Up, as late as we are, here's the clip. What does that sound like?
When you can go off ramp. Baby. Oh, you can go anything.
Yeah, washing machine
Breakfast.
With the headlines at 6:30, a very good morning. I'm Phenduka. Former Steinhoff Chief Executive Markus Jooste has died. It's understood Jooste died by suicide at his in-laws' home. National Assembly Speaker Sandton has taken special leave effective immediately. She says this is to protect the integrity of Parliament. The Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky has urged European Union leaders to increase support with more air cover to protect eastern cities from Russian bombardment. We'll have more of these and other stories at 7 o'clock.
On the street, on the air, and on the story. Kaya Sport.
A very good morning from the Kaya Sports desk. Starting things off in motorsport. Lando Norris topped the timesheet for McLaren in the first free practice at the Australian Grand Prix as Williams' Alex Albon disrupted the session with a crash at a familiar turn at Albert Park. Norris posted a lap time of 1 minute 18.564 seconds on soft tyres midway through the session, and the time held up despite a late dash at the end by Red Bull's reigning world champion Max Verstappen, who was 0.018 seconds slower. George Russell was in third in 0.033 seconds behind. The cars returned to the track for the second free practice at 7 a.m. today. Meanwhile, DStv Premiership side Orlando Pirates have confirmed that former Bafana coach Stanley Screamer Shabalala is recovering in hospital after being shot and injured during a burglary at his home on Wednesday. Police spokesperson Lieutenant Colonel Maverick
It is reported that 3 suspects were armed with a firearm and a sharp object thrown into the victim's house and held him and his family at gunpoint. The suspect then shot him and took a laptop and cell phones from the house. Police have since opened a case of house robbery and attempted murder for investigation.
Staying with Bafana, Elias Mukwana marked his international debut with a goal as Bafana came from behind to secure a 1-1 draw against European underdogs Andorra in their inaugural FIFA series encounter. Hugo Bruch's Chargers will play another friendly next week Tuesday, taking on host Algeria. And in European football, Israel's hopes of reaching the European Championships for the first time were shattered by a 4-1 defeat to Iceland, while Ukraine's hopes of making it to successive Euros were kept alive after a dramatic come-from-behind 2-1 victory over Bosnia and Herzegovina. Wales will face Poland for a place in the finals after powering to a 4-1 win against Finland, while Poland crushed Estonia 5-1, and the Greeks were far too strong for Kazakhstan, winning 5-0 with 4 of the goals coming in the opening 40 minutes. The next set of Euro qualifiers take place next week Tuesday, the 26th. Meanwhile, Arsenal forward Bukayo Saka has pulled out of the England squad for the upcoming friendlies against Brazil and Belgium. It is reported that the Arsenal forward reported to St. George's Park with an injury and has been unable to participate in training. That's all the sport I have for you for now. I'll be back with another update at 7:30 for Guy Sport. I am Informer Boy.
959 on the street, on the air.
I thought you wouldn't get crystals this morning because I thought people would get boy.
Definitely, he took his way out, and I think most of us would have done the same. If I had to owe that much money, and I knew there was no way I could pay it back, I'm gonna off myself. I am going to off myself because I'm in her.
Yeah, over 400. Guys, he took an easy way out, but everything that is done to everybody. Even if he went to jail, I don't think it would have been enough punishment. No.
So here's the thing about debt, right? And this is why the financial system is actually a sham. Once you owe a certain amount of money, and it's more than you're able to pay back, they just sequestrate you. That's it. So you can get sequestrated, and then you go to jail for fraud. And fraud is falsifying documents. You serve your time for that. After that, I mean, I don't know, Marcus would have been in jail for the rest of his life. It's likely, because we're some Dalavel. But after that, you can always go back and then start making money again. And once you start making money again, they can't come back and reclaim that money because you've served the sentence for it now. You see, that's how people become rehabilitated from sequestration. Mina, personally, I will never kill myself over money issues. Mina. There's actually, I don't think I'd ever kill myself at all. But I think actually, specifically over money issues, there's nothing. But maybe I'm being naive.
That is easier because because it's negative children, but at the time, and then it's done. Your suffering ends, right? At least in the physical. When I was impacted by this guy, every day impacted by that decision. And I don't know, that seems far worse than just we in Taiwan. He got it easy. He got it very easy.
But now I go back to my point. So if he had gone to jail, the rest of your life now, as a victim, would it suddenly be better?
It wouldn't be better, but I know that my life is ruined almost forever. I'm just hoping on a miracle. Thank God his is ruined forever, and he'll also not have certain freedoms and will be in punishment till the rest of his days. That will make me feel better, Caesar. I don't want to lie.
Would it make you feel better that not only did he steal from you and the rest of South Africans, but he's also now being paid by the state to stay alive? Because that's what happens when you're in jail.
I don't mind.
Oh, now you don't mind giving me extra money to stay alive, because that's what happens. You'll be sustained by the state, the food, the shelter, the security, the water. All of those things that we're using in jail are paid for by the state. It's all paid for by you.
Yes, he's not having caviar that he's used to. He's not having champagne.
Is he having caviar now?
He's not. No, now you know what he's doing.
Today is he having caviar?
You know why I'm not happy with his death? Because he didn't kill himself because he has ruined families and said, you know what, I feel so remorseful.
You don't know. Did you speak to him?
Because he's been pleading innocence. I mean, this man stood in parliament, he's been denying, he didn't come out clean to say, yes, I did it and I'm sorry. He hasn't even said that. So I can bet you that he didn't kill himself because he ruined people's lives. He killed himself because the cops were at the door trying to arrest him and put him in an orange overall and said never, rather this than that. Not because he felt remorseful.
You don't know that. But anyway, let's go.
Tire traffic.
Let's check out the roads and the traffic in Alberton. Stationary vehicle on the R59 North, disturbing the flow of traffic in the northerly direction, heading towards Nelson Mandela Drive. There's a bit of a queue coming out of Swartkopi, so on that R59 route up until Nelson Mandela Drive. And then in Germiston, there's a road hazard on the N3 North. It's after the airlines interchange, so on your way towards the M2 Geldenhuys split essentially. And then Boysens, peak time delays already on the M1 North between Boysens and the Crown interchange. Then over in Marshalltown on the other side of the Crown interchange, M2 West is also a bit slow coming out of Heidelberg Road heading towards the Crown interchange.
Yeah,
60-60 delivered extra happy Easter. Weekend away, we won't delay. Let's go 60-60. Snow for the ride and your sweet pie. Let's go 60-60. Fresh hot cross bun, we'll do our run. Let's go 60-60. Let the kids play, we'll go 60-60. We'll bring
bring you Easter with all the extras. Let's go 60-60.
A massive share of 3 million rand is up for grabs in the Hollywood Bets Spinner Zone Jackpot Race. Bid for 2 rand or more from 8:30 p.m. every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday night. Hollywood Bets, take a spin with us. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. Hollywood Bet supports responsible gambling. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counseling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp help to 076 675 0710.
For over 40 years, Slender Wonder has helped thousands of South Africans to lose weight and keep it off. How? We treat the problem and not just the symptoms. Now we also have a range of new products designed with your long-term health in mind. Introducing Slender Wonder Smooth Jelly that comes in a variety of fruity flavors: cherry, orange, and lime. Our chocolate pudding means you can indulge guilt-free. Our protein bar offers a delicious, healthy snack on the go or while working out. Visit slenderwonder.co.za to get your products today. This is
Higher 959.
Bakana le video e nngwe ya motho o trying go jumpa strike. A wela ko pothole e nngwe. Somewhere. Let's say we have almost Sandton. Hi, Kiko Ryan. Sebeta pela Sassoon. Okay. qethela ko sa itseng la gae. Fetang lang. Fetang.